Hey guys, Robbie Webster here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie called A Place Beyond the Pines, which I just saw, and it just came out this past weekend, and man, I was really impacted by this film, and I really wanted to do a review of it. The film takes place in the early 90s in Schenectady, New York, and it has 3 acts to it. The first act focuses on one of 2 main characters. The second act focuses on the second character, and then the third act it focuses on the sons of each of the 2 characters, and it just showcases the impact placed on those 2 sons by the actions of their fathers, and especially the point in the middle of the film where the 2 characters met, the 2 men met. The first character is played by Ryan Gosling. He's in a relationship. Well, he had a fling with Eva Mendes' character. He was a traveling stunt motorcyclist. He would go around with this carnival, and he went to this one place in Schenectady, New York, once a year, and he had hooked up with this girl, and he finds out the next year that she had a child, and it was his, and he decides that he wants to take care of this kid and be a part of his life, so he quits the carnival, and he ends up, well, he tries to take various jobs to provide for the kid and for the girl who's now has a new boyfriend, but he's trying to get her back, and he has a hard time finding a way to provide for them. So he ends up getting into using his skills as a stunt motorcyclist to rob banks, and so that's like the first character. Second character played by Bradley Cooper, and by the way, this is the best performance I've seen by Bradley Cooper. I have not seen Silver Linings Playbook yet, so just bear that in mind. But this is the best performance I've seen by him. I'm not a huge fan of Bradley Cooper, but I love him in this film. I think he's he did an amazing job in this role. And his character is a police officer, a rookie police officer in his first year on the job. And he responds to, well, he ends up, I'm not going to say too much. I got to be careful what I say. But he ends up just getting embroiled. He ends up getting involved with some dirty cops who try to take advantage of him and get him to do what they're doing, stealing drugs, guns, and money from the police department, basically the evidence locker. And he doesn't want anything to do with that. So that's what his whole story is about. The 2 men meet in the middle. Their lives interact for one scene of the film, and the results of that is what happens in Act 3. Like I said, that it's the next generation dealing with the actions of the father. So I have to say the performances in this by everyone, Eva Mendes is amazing, and Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper, like I said, are both awesome. But all the performances are great. The boy who plays Ryan Gosling's son does a really great job. I don't know the name of the actor, but I'll have to look that up. The film is beautifully directed, and it's great, beautifully acted. Cinematography is amazing. The reason that I love the film so much is I feel like such a connection to it. It got me so emotional. I think that's one of the signs that something is a truly great film is when it evokes an emotional response. And that's what happened to me at several points during this film. I felt an emotional connection. I felt a connection to the relationship between the fathers and their infant sons in the beginning of the film, because of the fact that I'm a new father, and then I also felt the effects. Like I felt similarities, sort of a similarity between my relationship with my own father too. So those 2 things were huge. The 2 biggest aspects of it. And then there's a third aspect that is probably more unique to me than most people watching this, but I grew up in Rochester, New York. I've lived here my whole life. And the film takes place in the early 90s, which is when I was very young, and I'm still old enough to remember what things were like. So everything you're seeing in throughout the majority of the film is things that just remind me of my childhood, things that remind me of the way the area I grew up in was like. Everything from the way the street signs look to old abandoned railroad bridges that we have all over the place here, to the way the roads looked, the old New York State license plates, and a bunch of references that the characters make to the area I'm sure people that live in Schenectady that are my age probably like this impacts them even more because that's right in their town. But this is, I live a little ways away in Rochester, but it's still very similar. They even they mention Rochester, and they even mention the famous garbage plate that we have here. It's like a really famous item on a menu here in Rochester that everybody has to have. But yeah, so that's my spoiler-free review, and if you haven't seen the film yet, just stop the video now. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about one other aspect of the film that really was just amazing and something that I think is unique and that has never been done before in a movie. And this is definitely going to ruin the film for anyone that hasn't seen it. So once again, second warning, shut off the video now if you haven't seen it yet. But if you have seen it, keep watching. You follow Ryan Gosling's character through the first hour and like 20 minutes of the film. I wasn't sure exactly because I didn't check the time, but that's what it felt like. And you're just focused on him. The camera literally follows him during many scenes. It's literally right behind the back of his head. And so you're building this connection with this character and you're watching him. The whole movie is centralized on him. You forget about the fact that Bradley Cooper is supposed to be in the movie, but they never show. Bradley Cooper never even enters the picture until the one scene where Ryan Gosling's character is killed. And that is the most... that is the I don't know, that the death of that character impacted me more than the death of any other character in a movie that I've ever seen. Only thing I could think of when I was trying to think of other films that have done things that was even similar to that was when Leonardo DiCaprio's character was killed in The Departed. But this was halfway through the movie. You followed this character it was almost like a whole movie. And then the film just takes over with a new character, but it's still like the same story. And I thought that was amazing. And then when you see the sons again at the end, the last act, the third act of the film, it brings you back to Ryan Gosling's character. And man, I was just getting really emotional. This film I really had a connection with it, and I love the movie. Definitely recommend that everyone sees it. I know if you're still watching the video, you should have already seen it, but yeah, I would give this film probably, I you know what, I'm not going to give it a rating out of 10 because it's too fresh, and I'm still reeling from it. Like, I really, really love this film, if you can't tell. But yeah, that's my review of A Place Beyond the Pines. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks for watching.